Ukraine's defense forces delivered a precision missile strike, destroying a Russian command center in the temporarily occupied Zaporizhzhia region. The attack resulted in the elimination of 6 Russian servicemen and left 3 others critically wounded. This was reported by HUR on December 30th on their website. According to the press release, HUR's aerial reconnaissance units managed to locate the Russian command center. Acting in close coordination with the Operational Strategic Group of Forces Tavria, Ukrainian forces launched a precision missile strike. Previously, on December 29th, HUR reported a series of operations targeting Russian military infrastructure. These actions included the destruction of Russian communication systems and significant damage to critical rail infrastructure, both in temporarily occupied Ukrainian territories and within Russia itself. New Year is coming to Sudzha, Kursk region, which remains in Ukrainian control for 150 days. The strike UAVs of the separate unit Wings of Omega executed precise strikes on enemy personnel concentrations, inflicting significant losses and leaving the enemy disoriented and weakened. The Wings of Omega is a specialized unit within Ukraine's National Guard, renowned for its effective use of unmanned aerial vehicles in combat operations. This unit has been instrumental in conducting reconnaissance, executing precision strikes, and supporting artillery operations against Russian forces. Last night, Ukraine targeted the Druzhba oil pipeline in Bryansk region, a key route for oil supplies to Europe through Belarus. Reportedly, the new Peklo missile drone was used. According to a Russian source, AFU launched a strike on the Druzhba oil pipeline in the village of Mamai around 4:30 a.m., reportedly using a Peklo missile drone. While the pipeline remained undamaged, a technical building on the site sustained partial destruction. This section of the pipeline serves as the final pumping station before the border, facilitating oil deliveries to destinations, including Europe. The USA will provide Ukraine with $15 billion from future revenues of frozen Russian assets, announces Ukrainian Prime Minister Shmyhal. The agreement was signed between Ukraine's finance ministry and the World Bank, Shmyhal said. These funds are part of the Peace in Ukraine project and represent a portion of the $20 billion US contribution under the G7 initiative, which will be allocated to social and humanitarian expenditures, Shmyhal wrote on Telegram. We thank the United States and the World Bank for implementing and supporting this initiative, which forces Russia to pay for its aggression against Ukraine, he added. Shmyhal previously announced that Ukraine had already begun receiving U.S. funds under the framework of the G7's $50 billion loan program, covered by profits from frozen Russian assets. Meanwhile, the Russian embassy in London condemned a similar plan by the UK to transfer more than £2 billion to Ukraine using frozen Russian assets, calling it a fraudulent scheme. The loans were agreed upon in July by G7 leaders, comprising the UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United States, along with senior European Union officials. The majority of the frozen Russian assets are held in EU countries. And Politico named 2024's biggest winners and losers. And what a surprise, Russian president and his allies were on the wrong side of the stick. Vladimir Putin. Does anyone remember Russian President Vladimir Putin's promise to conquer Ukraine in a 3-day special operation? Well, that continued to go poorly in 2024 as Ukraine not only held back Russia's assaults, but also seized a chunk of Russian territory during the Kursk offensive. As Russia's economy overheats amid high inflation and a chronic labor shortage, Putin lost his foothold in Syria and pathway into Africa with the collapse of the Assad regime, and Moscow rounded out the year having to apologize, without admitting guilt, for downing an Azeri civilian aircraft. Not ideal. And Viktor Orban. A case can also be made for Putin's best friend in Europe, Hungarian PM Orban. His 14th year in power coincided with deepening economic woes and the rise of Péter Magyar, the opposition leader set to challenge Orban for his job in the 2026 election. Bashar Assad. Syria's former dictator ended the year in disgrace. His country controlled by his erstwhile enemies while he took refuge in Moscow, insisting that it wasn't his choice to flee. and facing reports that his wife wants a divorce, which were denied by the Kremlin. "Hold on until evening, brother. We'll pick you up in the evening." These words, along with a bundle, water, and medicine, were dropped by Ukrainian pilots to the wounded soldier of the 47th Brigade, Malloy. Here is his story.
We left the position, crossed the field. The first time something hit, I think it was a drop, struck the head. I fell but didn't lose consciousness. Then I got up, walked a few meters, and it directly hit the leg and shoulder. I fell, lost consciousness, and came to my senses. Lying all night in the field. If communication permits, try going lower and have a look. Figure out if he's breathing or not. By mornings, a strong wind had started. At such times, they do not fly. I began crawling along the tracks. The guys were walking, I crawled along the tracks, got into a pipe, waited the whole day. Found a field coat in the pipe too. My own coat froze. He froze and lay on the field the whole night. He froze, I took him off, placed him under me. I lay on him and put the other one on myself. See, in the backpack I found a pea coat, so I put it on. Covered myself with a thermal blanket and lay like that the whole day. Then they threw a package into the pipe. Here by the 9 heaters they make some food. Foil unwound, water, boiling water, and the flag so that it does not occur. Pill pack tablet, the procedure, there was light swelling. I unpacked the package, there was warm water and medicine. I took the medicine and drank some water. On the flag it said, "Wait, we'll come in the evening." I waited thinking maybe they'll come for me. When I heard the sound of machinery, I was very happy. It was scary when I was already climbing onto the road. I was afraid that nothing would fly at us. It's not as scary sitting at positions as it is going in or out. I climbed out of the pipe. I crawled onto the road, crawled across the road. The platoon commander grabbed me by the collar, they dragged me in together. The ramp closed, we started moving. About 5 minutes into the drive, an FPV arrived, the Bradley commander. Unfortunately, we have 200, but the driver is fine, and there's another 300 from this crew. I didn't believe they would take me out, because they wouldn't have found me. The radio was lost, I have injuries. The right leg has a shattered bone, an open fracture, and a fragment in the left thigh.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.